Everyone, hi, I am Delana Jones and I want to welcome you back to Heart Flow. Yes, to Heart Flow. I am so sorry guys that I am so late with this video. I have been having a lot of things going on, a lot of new developments and stuff like that have been going on all week long. So I am going to jump right back into this thing. This is going to be a very short one because this is simply going to be a continuation of part 3, because there was a couple little things that I didn't get to on the last video. I don't want my videos to be any longer than 30 minutes because I do not want you all to be sitting there for a whole hour watching a video. If I was on live, maybe I wouldn't care how long I went, you know, as long as everybody was still engaged. But a lot of times when you're watching a video and you're not really active in it, then I don't want you all to get bored watching it. So all my videos will always strive to be anywhere between 15 to 25, 26 minutes at most. So we're going to jump right back into this. If you all remember, we are doing the Never Ending Story series. We are talking about dreams and goals that we have for our lives. The last time we left off, we were in the story with those characters that are in Fantasia, and we see a trail, and he is in the swamps of sadness when we left him. He was in the swamps of sadness. He had just lost his horse Artex, and he was trudging along. He was a little bit weary. He got weary, but he kept trudging along. His feet were getting heavier and heavier, and as he is going through the swamps of sadness, he gets a glimpse of hope because he sees this place that is called Shell Mountain. He's not really exactly sure what Shell Mountain is. All he knows that at this mountain he's able to find an ancient one that they call Marla. So he sees the Shell Mountain and he runs to it. He climbs the mountain and he goes up to the top, and there's like one little lonely tree at the top of it. And he holds on to the tree and he calls out, "Marla, Marla." Well, all of a sudden, the mountain that he's on begins to move. He tries to grab hold to the tree, but the tree is really small, it's really weak, and he's unsteady. He loses his balance, loses his grips, and he goes sliding down the mountain. Well, when he realizes the mountain is moving, he starts running, and he goes up to a tree and he starts to climb it. When he climbs this tree, all of a sudden, out of this thing that he thought was a mountain comes this face, like right up to him in his face. And he's like, so whenever he looked at it, he realized it's this big giant turtle. And that this Shell Mountain is not really a mountain after all. It's really a turtle that's inside of this thing, and it's really big, so it appears to be a mountain. So as he begins to talk to Marla, the ancient one, he begins to ask her, hey, do you know that the childlike empress is sick? And Marla's response is, "I don't care." And he says, "What do you mean you don't care? Do you not know that there's something called the nothing that is sweeping through our land?" "I don't care." And he's like, "Well, don't you understand that if we don't stop the nothing, that you're going to die?" "I don't care. And at least if there's death, that would at least be something." So then he tells him, he says, "So you don't even care if the childlike empress died and the whole land was completely destroyed." And she said, "As a matter of fact, we don't care enough to where we don't even care that we don't care." So she keeps using the plural form "we." And he goes, "Well, who is we? Is there somebody else out here?" And say, "No, we've been out here so long that we've just started talking to ourselves." So finally, after talking for a while, Marla reveals that maybe the answers that Atrell is seeking are at a place called the Southern Oracle. And At that point, Atrell has a little bit more hope. And he's like, okay, well, where's the Southern Oracle? And he says, well, you can find it, but it's a long way from here. And he goes, okay, well, how long? She says, 10,000 miles. And at that point, all the hope that he had in his heart began to sink, because he's like, 10,000 miles. That's so far away. I've lost my horse. I've lost everything I have. I can't make 10,000 miles. But he realizes, hey, it may be a long way. I may not have transportation. I may not have any help to get there, but I gotta at least try. So I want to stop right there, and I want to talk about this for a minute. Let's dive into this. So when he's walking through these swamps of sadness and he sees this mountain, and it's called the Shell Mountain. And what really stood out to me is that most mountains, you already know that mountains normally represent either elevation or it represent problems or things that are standing in your way. For Atrell, it's almost twofold, because he thought that Shell Mountain was going to be a place of elevation. He thought it was going to be a place that was going to help push him to the next level. He thought it was going to be a place that was going to help push him to the next position and to the next place. But he came to find out that it really wasn't what he thought it was. Shell Mountain ended up being a person, ended up being the mountain, or an animal ended up being the mountain instead. And some of us are going to be looking at things, and we're going to see people that look like they're in higher positions. They look like they're in a place of elevation and that they're going to help us. And when we go to them, we're going to be thinking to ourselves that, oh my God, this is where I'm going to be able to find the answer. Not even realizing that that person is standing in the same place that you are. That person is sitting there in the swamps of sadness. They're depressed. They're trying to make it through. As a matter of fact, they stopped moving. And they've been there so long that, and the only reason why they probably haven't sink into the ground is because they so big. So they ain't going nowhere. But you have to think about the fact that this person is still sitting in the same place as you are. And now, although you have hope, they have nothing. They're bitter. Their joy is gone. That's why when they said a shell is a place, something that's just empty. It's a place that either looks promising, but it's empty. And it's also a place that maybe it appears to be a problem, but it's really just empty. You know, you have empty promises and empty problems. It's things that you think is going to be a stumbling block will not be a stumbling block for you. Get what you have to get from them and keep moving. Sometimes you may have to pry some information. You may have to keep just kind of picking and asking questions here and there, but eventually you're going to get something that you're going to be able to use. It may not be a lot, but it's going to be one good thing that you're going to be able to use that's going to be able to help you move to your next position in life. So once he got the information from Marla and he kept going, he's walking along, he's getting tired, sad, he's hurt, he's injured, his arm is hurting, he's bleeding. You can visually see the bleeding of him. And he's starting to sink. Every step that he's taking, he's getting lower and lower in the ground to where he's pretty much up to his chest in mud. And as he reaches up for a tree, because he's just trying his best to get something that he could hold on to keep himself from sinking in depression, keeping himself from sinking into a place of bitterness, because don't nobody want to be like Marla and be sitting in this place for years to where you go crazy. You sit there talking to yourself because you've been there so long. So he reaches up and he tries to grab this tree. And as he begins to try to grab this tree, we see the sky open up. We see the clouds that were there that were dark and dreary. All of a sudden, they turn this like amberish type color, and it's like really pretty. And all of a sudden, this thing comes out and it's like flying. It's flying. And he sees the trail and he goes down and he swoops. And as a trail is grabbing for the tree, his arm hooks up around and this thing takes him and flies off. Well, this thing is called Falcor. And Falcor is a luck dragon. Now, when Falcor gets him. He takes him to a place. And in that place, the people that Falcor knows, or the people that he is connected with as well, they ended up nursing him back to health. He's clean. They've washed his hair. They cleaned his body. They've bandaged his wounds. He is resting. He's chilling. And then he realizes when he wakes up, like, where am I? Oh my God, who are you? Because he's looking at him. He's like, I don't really know if you're a friend or a foe. Our last place I remember being is in a place of sadness, a place where I seemed like I was about to be a goner. I was about to give up in this place. And then Falcor explains to him who he is. He's like, well, I'm a luck dragon, and I love kids. I'm the person that will be able to help you everywhere I go. I bring luck. Good things come because of me. And so I wanted to back it up right there, because when he was in the last part of his moment in the swamps, and he began to reach for something, he began to reach for a tree. He was reaching for something that was solid, something that was going to be a help, something that he felt like he was going to be able to lean on and grasp on. But whenever you are in a position and in a place of depression, in a place of sadness, in a place where you don't have anybody, there's never going to be anything that's going to be able to be reliable for you. You're not going to be able to find it in that place. And the reason why you're not going to be able to find anything reliable is because God does not desire for us to stay in that position. He doesn't desire us to stay in a place where we're bogged down, in a place to where we can't think, in a place to where we're so mentally drained that we can't go any further. So what happened was somebody, Falcor came down and he swooped him up. And you're going to meet a Falcor in your life. You're going to meet a luck dragon. You're going to meet somebody that is old, or they've been in where you're trying to go. They've been there for a long time. They're very experienced in that area. And you're going to meet that person, and you're going to be on your last leg. You're going to be feeling like, you know what? This is my last time that I'm going to go here. I'm not going to try this anymore. And as you begin to reach for the last little bit that you can, they're going to swoop in and they're going to help you. They're going to be the ones that's going to take you and bring you across the places where people are going to bandage you up. They're going to clean you up, whether it's your resume, whether it is your book. They're going to help you edit that joker. They're going to make sure that your CD is mixed and mastered and is flawless. That luck dragon, those blessed people that have been in the game for a very long time, they're going to be the ones that are going to help you out. Just like you think that you lost everything that you had early on, you think that you went in this place of isolation and that all is lost, but God is getting ready to send you connections. He's getting ready to send you somebody that's getting ready to pour you into a position that you never even thought possible. And as a matter of fact, if you see how a trail got there, when he woke him up, he said he had been asleep. He didn't even know where he was. And Falcor revealed to him that he had brought him to the place where he was supposed to go. He brought him pretty much to the Southern Oracle. And Atrell is very surprised, because he's like, wait a minute. You brought me the whole 10,000 miles? He was like, no, I didn't bring you the whole 10,000 miles. But I brought you 9,891 miles. So I only left out 109 miles for you to go. To the person that you're getting ready to meet, they're not going to do all the work for you, but they're going to bring you to where you're almost there. You're going to be this close to the place. All you have to do really is get on your feet and start to move. You're not even going to have to run to get there, because you're going to be right there. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to get through in order to get there, but it will not be as hard of a trick as you thought it was. God is getting ready to send some divine connections, some divine people that were put in place especially for you in this hour and in this time. I want to tell you to not, don't get discouraged. Do not lose your hope. Keep your heart encouraged. Don't allow your hope to dwindle. It may look hard. It may seem hard. It may look like everything is getting ready to fall apart. But I want to let you know that when things are getting ready to fall apart and you begin to reach upward, you begin to reach for that tree, reach for something that is solid. God is getting ready to send somebody that is going to help you recover. They're going to bring you to places that you never ever thought you'd be in places that they're going to bring you there faster than what you ever would have been able to get there on your own, because they are divinely assigned to help you move into your next position. I want to make sure to tell you that you all, no matter what situations that you're in, no matter what the assignment is, keep moving. No matter what friends you lose, know that God has some friends that are going to help you move into your next position in life. Don't worry. Don't cry too long over friends that are gone. Do not cry too long over friends that are gone. Because as long as you keep moving, you're going to be elevated in this season. I guarantee you. And I am a firm believer in this. And I think that even the more now, because as I was beginning to teach this, I started walking this thing out in my own life. And it seemed like after every week, I ended up dealing with whatever it was that I ministered on the week before. So know that there may be some separation coming. Know that there's going to be some people who are not going to be able to go with you to your next position. They're not going to be able to help elevate you to your next position. But God has some divine connections that he's sending from heaven, and they are going to be specially made just for you. And they're going to get you where you need to go. Believe that. So don't be afraid when you see where you are. Don't be afraid and don't fear when you see where you are. Because even if you're not qualified, you're justified. Because God sets up everything for a purpose. Okay, that is all of my time. I have got to get out of here, guys. I just want to make sure that we finish that part 3. So this is just a continuation of part 3. I will be back next week with part 4. And hopefully we will be right on track on Mondays again. For those of you that have never seen the Never Ending Story, make sure that you go by your local Walmart, your local Best Buy, Kmart, whatever, any place where DVDs are sold, and get that DVD if you've never seen the movie, The Never Ending Story. It's a great family show, especially those of you that are 80s kids, late 70s and 80s kids. You're going to love this show because it will bring you back to that innocent period in your life when you were never ever afraid to dream and your imagination was free. Share with your friends, share with your family, share with your enemies. The Bible says that he will prepare a table before us in the presence of our enemies. As you walk out your life and as you get ready to go into these places, let them sit there and watch you eat at the table. Share it with them. Don't block your friends. Don't block your enemies. People that, that have been talking about you, doing you wrong, that have been consistently doing everything they can to cause you to fail. Don't block them. Let them watch God bless you. You don't have to gloat about it. I ain't telling you to go and get in your car and be like, ha, 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 look at me, I'm rolling now. Or ha, 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 look at me, I got this new job, I'm making 6 figures now. You ain't got to do that. But just be who you are and let them watch God bless you. Because for all you know, those enemies may end up being your frenemies after a while. And they will be the people that will be trying to come to you asking you, how did you do it? And you'll be able to say, I trusted God. And I prayed for those who cursed me. I prayed for those who persecuted me. So share with your enemies. Share with your friends. Continue to follow. I will see you guys next week. Remember, this is Heart Flow, and we are here to help with all things that's dealing with the heart. We also deal with other areas in life, but mostly the things that end up breaking your heart, the things that will end up causing your heart to falter in ways that it shouldn't have to. We believe that you keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it will spring the issues of life. We also believe that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we're all about positivity, we're all about love, and we're all about uplifting and encouraging people to move forward in your lives. I am completely out of time. This story never ends, but this video does. So I will see you all next time at Heart Flow. I'm Delana Jones, and I'll see you next time.